While everyone has their own Thanksgiving Day traditions, hopefully a trip to the emergency room isn't one of them.
The holidays definitely bring in more patients into emergency rooms and urgent cares.
And Thanksgiving Day can be one of the busiest days for emergency rooms. But Mercy nurse practitioner Jerry Power says not everyone needs to go to the ER. The doors of urgent cares are open and waiting for the accidents and other urgent medical needs that happen on the day that families gather, cook turkey, eat, drink, and play.
Certainly as people get together and there's more cooking related injuries. So even minor cuts, minor burns are things that we'll see increased frequency of in an urgent care setting.
Power is an advanced practice lead for Mercy-GoHealth Urgent Cares, which are growing across the region. There are now 22 of them in the St. Louis metro area, and recently, the first Mercy-GoHealth opened in the city of St. Louis.
This location that we're in now is our first St. Louis location, located in Hampton Village in South St. Louis.
Power says Mercy-GoHealth Urgent Cares are open every day and ready for Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving Day travelers.
More people coming in from out of town, and so you're away from primary care, you're away from what you're used to.
The top reasons why people suddenly end up in the emergency rooms and urgent cares on Thanksgiving start with turkey troubles.
There's certainly the risk, just even minor burns, the frying of a turkey out in front of the garage, and those can, of course, be dangerous. You'll hear many a story of a firefighter who has responded to a house fire started by too much oil when the turkey gets dumped in there.
It's not just the turkey cooking, it's the carving catastrophes too. But don't always blame the turkey.
A lot of it just comes with cooking the sides, right? You're cutting potatoes for the mashed potatoes, so we'll see people who are maybe not wielding knives as frequently as they do during the holidays, and so suddenly everyone becomes a gourmet chef, and so they're going to cut themselves. We see injuries with mandolins, which are those devices which we slice thin vegetables with, and people forget how dangerous those things can be, and suddenly we're getting all manner of cuts and slices and things like that arriving at our urgent cares.
And for the people who don't really cook all year and are suddenly in the kitchen, some advice to help keep your family safe and away from here.
Preparing of the turkey, there is always a concern for increase of GI issues related to salmonella. So just proper cooking and proper food handling techniques.
Even if the meal is perfectly safe, overindulgence is also a big reason for a trip to the urgent care or ER.
Any type of overeating for even the healthiest person is going to cause some problems. And so that can be everything from just indigestion and upset stomach to things like, the GI issues such as diarrhea or constipation. For those populations of people who have diabetes, perhaps eating too many sugars, that's certainly something we see a lot of in the holidays. With those folks who are diabetic or have congestive heart failure, the intake of salt is just increased tremendously because we use a lot of salt in our food over the holidays. So with that comes just an increased chance of health-related illness.
And if that's not enough pressure, which is plenty, there's the in-law or family stress.
With the holidays and people getting together, yeah, it's just a ripe scenario for bad interactions. Some family struggles and drama can create a lot of stress that adds to things that can complicate your health. So even people who have heart conditions are just more prone to having cardiac events in the context of stress.
And adding to it, there's the accidents from being active. Maybe a game of football in the yard.
The urgent cares are prepared to address minor to moderate injuries, sports injuries.
With anything that happens, if the degree of a medical emergency is not obviously an emergency room visit, how do you know when it's best to go to the ER or urgent care?
I think if you are really concerned, then you should seek that higher level of care. You always have the opportunity to call either your primary care, or if you don't have primary care, you can even call one of the Mercy-GoHealth Urgent Cares and talk to one of the clinicians, and they can kind of direct you in a way to go.